Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We are taking our very first steps into the world of Python together, and we're going to be laser focused on one primary goal: mastering the absolute foundational tools of code. Learning to code isn't just about memorizing a bunch of text. It's actually a pretty noble pursuit. It requires a fundamental shift in how you see the world. It's all about making that transformation from an absolute beginner to genuinely thinking like a developer. It's stylish, it's powerful, and it changes everything. To get us there, we have a very clear syllabus for our journey today. We'll start with the mindset of a coder, then we'll learn how to make the machine speak. From there, we'll figure out how to ask and store information, review the strict laws of code, and finally, we'll bring it all together to build the universal loop. So let's jump right into section 1, the mindset of a coder. Because before we write a single line, we really have to demystify what a computer actually is and how it interprets our instructions. Let's start with a quick definition, just to clear up any of that beginner anxiety. What actually is code? Simply put, code is a set of incredibly precise instructions written to communicate with a strictly literal machine. It's a language, sure, but one that completely lacks all the nuance and guesswork of human conversation. I like to think of Python as a polite robot. Imagine a highly advanced robotic arm, incredibly capable, but strictly literal. It does exactly what you command, no more, no less. It doesn't assume, and it certainly doesn't guess your intentions. If you break the rules, it just stops. But remember, this precision, that's a feature, not a flaw. If the robot stops, it just means it needs clear instructions from you. Which brings us nicely to section 2, making the machine speak. It is officially time to learn our very first tangible skill and achieve one-way communication. To do this, we're going to open up our core toolkit. For today, we are literally only going to use 3 things: the print command to make the machine speak, the input command to ask the user a question and wait, and variables to store information for later. That is it. Master these 3 and you unlock the basic foundations of all software. And this brilliantly illustrates the anatomy of sending a message versus receiving one. With print, we have the command itself, the parentheses acting like a little container, and the quotation marks bounding our text. On the flip side, input uses a really similar structure, but it serves as a trigger to take an answer and move it into a destination, something we call a variable. Watch it in action with our very first program, The Computer Wakes Up. When the first line executes, it perfectly pushes that exact text to the terminal output. Then the second line fires off, waking up, loading, ready, followed by hello, human. Notice there are no variables here yet. It's just the computer politely introducing itself based exactly on the instructions we typed. Moving right along to section 3, asking and storing information. It is time to upgrade from one-way broadcasting to two-way interaction. We need to give our machine a memory. To do that, we use variables. Think of a variable as a highly secure, strictly labeled vault. When we write name equals John, that equal sign does not mean mathematically equal like it does in algebra. Here, it's an operator that translates to, hey, take this raw data, the name John, and safely lock it into that vault labeled name. So the absolute crucial point here is understanding how Python reads these vaults. If you type print name with quotation marks, Python treats it as literal text. It just prints the letters N-A-M-E. But if you type print name without the quotes, Python says, that's a vault. It opens it up, fetches the live data stored inside, in this case, John, and prints that instead. Quotes mean text, no quotes mean a variable vault. All right, we must now enter section 4, the strict laws of code. Because our robot is strictly literal, our grammar has to be perfect. There are 4 essential rules for naming these variable vaults. Let's rapid fire through them. First, always start with a letter. Second, absolutely no spaces. Use underscores if you need to separate words. Third, no special symbols like exclamation points or dashes. And fourth, it's highly recommended to use plain Latin English alphabet letters so the compiler doesn't get confused. Always remember, Python expects absolute precision. A missing character isn't just a tiny typo. To the literal machine, it is a fundamentally broken instruction. Mastering syntax isn't about blind memorization. It's really about learning to see the code exactly the way the compiler does. Let's do a quick diagnostic check to train our eyes and give you the keys to the kingdom. Now, what's really interesting about this is the strict boundaries. Starting and ending with double quotes works perfectly, but missing a closing quote, that leaves the machine hanging and completely confused. Similarly, you must wrap your content in parentheses. Leaving a space without parentheses is an instruction Python will absolutely flat out reject. You also need intense detail orientation. Notice how a little comma cleanly separates two entirely different things, the literal text hello and the variable vault name. And please beware of case sensitivity. A lowercase print is the real built-in function, but an uppercase print, Python has literally no idea what that is and will throw an error immediately. Finally, let's cement those naming rules. Calling a vault hero_name works flawlessly, but toAge fails immediately because it starts with a number. First name fails because it has a space. Add a special symbol like an exclamation point and the system crashes all over again. The machine demands total compliance. Okay, now we get to bring all these isolated concepts together in our final section, building the universal loop. We are going to combine output, input, and memory into one beautiful, seamless operation. We're going to build a fully interactive program called What is Your Name Hero? The flow follows 4 logical steps. First, we prompt the user. Second, we listen for their answer. Third, we safely store that answer. And fourth, we respond using that newly stored data. Watch how this architecture comes alive. On line 1, our print command politely prepares the user by outputting, "Tell me your name, brave hero." The user now knows exactly what's expected of them. Then on line 2, using the input command creates that iconic blinking cursor on the screen. The machine is pausing, patiently waiting for an answer. Trace that data flow with me for a second. The user types Laura on their keyboard. That input action flows straight down into our secure storage, the vault labeled name. Then the output action begins. The program prints "Welcome to the adventure" and fetches the contents of our name vault, printing Laura. Just remember those strict rules. A lowercase name and a capitalized name are completely different vaults to the computer. And this brings us to a really beautiful realization. Prompting, listening, storing, and responding. Output, input, process, repeat. What we have just built isn't just some basic beginner's exercise. This universal loop is literally the architectural heartbeat of all software. From simple little scripts to massive global operating systems, everything relies on this exact foundational cycle. The foundation is successfully set. You now hold the core instruments of the craft: output, input, and memory. You understand the strict, literal nature of the machine, and you know how to speak to it with precise syntax. The polite robot is awake, and the cursor is blinking. So the only question left for you is, armed with these incredibly powerful tools, what are you going to build next?